Hello there, welcome to Scarborough for one of the most iconic events on the road racing calendar, the legendary Gold Cup. Duke, Reed, Sheen, Grant, Dunlop and McGuinness are just some of the great names to have appeared around the 2.4-mile Oliver's Mount over the years. Normally, it's a peaceful haven for joggers and dog walkers, but on weekends like this, it's a high-speed, adrenaline-fueled challenge for both men. Coming up in the first of our 2 hours of coverage of this year's Gold Cup, we've got a bit of everything. The Supersport 600 class promises to be a huge battle between Lee Johnston, who won 4 races here at the Barry Sheen Classic in August, and a man with over 80 wins to his name at his home track, Yorkshireman Dean Harrison. The sidecars are back and TT legends the Birchall brothers are here. They'll keep the regulars like Dean's dad Conrad Harrison and Andy Wiggle and Stephen Matt Ramsden, as well as a few others, very honest. But first up, it's the twins, and the hot favourite in this one is another Yorkshireman in Jamie Coward. Jamie, after such a tricky summer with no racing, how does it feel to be back now, and especially here in front of such a good crowd?
Yeah, it's great. You know, we were at the Barry Sheen meeting and the crowd were nice, and obviously it was nice to get back out on the bikes, but actually it's nice and refreshing to see. There's obviously let a few more people in this time, and it's obviously watching stuff on TV like PSB and that, and there's no crowds there, and you come here and we're lucky enough to have them here and looking at us and watching us and spectating. It's really good, you know, and it's the weather's actually on our side for once as well at Scarborough, and it's always wet and miserable, so yeah, it's a bonus for us riders and the spectators.
Tell us about the feeling of being back on the bike as well after such a long time. Is it difficult to get back into?
It is, to be fair, yeah. I ride a little pit bikes and stuff, so I've been doing quite a bit, and when I can, I know with obviously what's going on, so it's obviously jumping from one of them onto these is a completely different kettle of fish, but it's nice. Like I say, it's just nice just to get back and do something. No, I didn't think we were going to do anything this year with the COVID-19 situation, so it's nice to get going and get your elbows out and get some elbow bashing done with some lads, you know, so it's good.
For many people looking at the twins, you're probably the pre-weekend favourite. How do you feel about that, and how do you view the competition that you've got in the category?
Puts a bit of pressure on yourself. The lap times will be really close this weekend. James Hind, Dom Herbertson, Rob Hodgson and obviously Dean Harrison this weekend's on the RC Express bike as well, so he's not had any luck with it really this weekend, but he's, I think once he gets going, I think he'll be in with a shout as well. So, but yeah, it's pressure's probably on my shoulders, but I at the moment I seem to be thriving on it. It's been going well.
Pushing him all the way will be the pattern pairing of the youngster Jim Hind and the young at heart Ian Locker.
I'm sort of semi-retired these days, so just riding in one of the Mark Coverdale patterns in the twins races, and joining us is Jim Hind, young protege, shall we say, but he's riding one of the others, and also Supersport Kawasaki 600 for us.
How are you finding it, Jim, and how are you finding racing the twin particularly?
Yeah, it's good. Say only my second time here, like, so pleased to get 3 pole positions yesterday, which I wasn't expecting at all, but yeah, no, happy.
It must be quite daunting, especially seeing some of the guys that you're lining up against.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be lined up on the, you know, with Lee and Dean and that, so yeah, happy.
It's nice to work with such a, you know, a nice young lad, and who's quick and willing to learn, you know.
So just give us a little bit of a preview, I guess, of how you expect the twins race to go, how you think you guys will do, and what the main sort of contenders will be.
Well, I don't know. Jim's on pole, I'm in 4th in the position, so Jamie Coward's going very well on his bike. Dominic Herbertson, it'll be a tight race, I think.
Just finally for you, Jim, what's the approach then from pole position? I suppose try to get a jump and do it like a time trial, really?
Yeah, just take it as it comes. Like, as long as you get away within the top 3, you know, hang on to the back of front 2 guys, and should be all right after that.
Dom, let's start off with the twins. Looks like the competition's pretty fierce in the category this time.
Aye, everyone's absolutely chomping at the bit. You know, I'm absolutely over the moon with that. That's 13-year-old You know what I mean? It's absolutely fantastic. It's like an old nail. The counting team always put a good bike together, and it's totally reliable. And I just got to, well, Matt, I'm going to be honest, I've just got to stop being so soft and get on the crank a little bit more, and I can run with them.
13 years old, that's nearly as old as you, isn't it?
It is, well, definitely the mental age anyway. So it's we've got a good connection, me and the bike. But no, Bleasdale's put the motor together, the Countons have put the team together, and it's no, it's all going well.
So before we get into the twins race then and join our commentator Dave Moore, who better to take us on a lap than Ian Locker?
And here we go, I'll just take you for a lap around the famous Oliver's Mount circuit, up into fourth gear before we hit the brakes hard for Mere hairpin. Really steep left-handed corner, trying to get the bike upright as much as you can before you get on the power. The bike wheelies a little bit. Second, third under the bridge, fourth gear. Big bump here, just there. And we go right into the first part of the S's. Accelerate a little bit, bike's on its side as we come on here. Get a good exit onto the straight, very important. Some horrible person want to try and pass you. Up to fifth, sixth gear, just about around now, and you're looking for those breaker marks around now, back to second gear as we drop into the memorial here. Nice corner into the next part. This is actually called Lucker's Corner. I don't know why they named it after me. And accelerate first gear, second, third, fourth, fifth. Hit the brakes real hard. Try and keep the bike in a straight line. And now tipping quite late. May sometimes touch the clutch there just to get a good exit. Accelerate down the hill. Always a little bit damp under the trees if it's been raining. Second, third, fourth, fifth. Hit the brakes hard here. It's really steep here. It doesn't look it, I know, but turn corner here, very sharp hairpin. The best place for overtaking. Accelerate third, fourth, short shift to fifth just before you go over that jump. Get the bike upright into sixth gear, jump, and then land. Back, come back through the gears now, ready for the last part of the section. Back to second gear, then drop it into first around now. Accelerate up the hill, this horrible little corner onto the start and finish, drops away, and there we go. That was a lap of Oliver's Mount.
Well, this should be a great battle. Over to Dave Moore.
But when it comes to Super Twins, Jamie Coward, the man in pole position, is the man to beat on a 650. They also have Jim Hind, the youngster, on row 1 alongside them. Then on row 2, Dom Herbertson, Ian Locker and Rob Hodson. Row 3, Brad Vickers, Michael Rees and Barry Ferber. Dave Hewson, Alan Brooks and Jack Bowler on row 4. Behind them, Ryan Redmond, Julian Tillotson, Roddy Taylor, Andrew Jackson, Jack Petrie and Gary Graves. Ian Locker providing the pictures as the lights go out at Oliver's Mount for the Super Twins. It's a heck of a noise as they power their way down to Mere for the very first time. It's Harrison who leads them, Coward in second, and it looks like the Pattons are in third and fourth. Indeed they are. Jim Hind and Ian Locker. Rob Hodson in fifth position as they emerge from under the trees out into the sunshine again. And it is Dean Harrison from Jamie Coward, Jim Hind and Ian Locker. A gap back to fourth place, Ian Locker, the Welshman, just losing touch with the top three. We're riding on board with Jamie Coward into Palmer's, then into Memorial. Harrison nice and neat. Coward just closing up, but then Harrison, well, I was going to suggest maybe just getting on the throttle a little bit faster out of the turn, but Jamie Coward certainly stayed with him. And while those two scrap away, Jim Hind in a very menacing third place as they go into Drury's. Ian Locken would love to close that gap down if he can. Bill Harrison from Coward. Locker looks as if perhaps he may have closed that gap down to his teammate Jim Hind. And here Here they come. Harrison Coward. So here we go again. Perspective of Ian Locker. Oh, very close. The master and the apprentice going into mere hairpin, very, very close to one another. And looking back from Jim Hind, we'll soon get a screen full of Ian Locker perhaps. There we go. And it certainly looks as if it cost Ian Locker half a second or so. Just having to shut off before he arrived at the hairpin. Well, these three continue their dice. Jim Hind desperate to be involved. Jamie Coward doing all he can to get past Dean Harrison. My goodness me. I don't think I've seen too many moves or overtakes coming out of Drury's. 49 is Michael Rees, the Welshman. Dominic Herbertson still in this battle for 5th place. Across the line to complete another lap. Jim Hind just losing a little bit of ground to the top 2 riders. So riding with Jamie Coward, still pestering Dean Harrison. Still trying to find that little gap, that little something. Maybe onto the back straight. He's certainly close enough. He's right behind Harrison. Now if he can use a little bit of slipstream, perhaps, he might be able just to get that little bit of a toe. Now then, Brad Vickers in 8th, Barry Ferber has dropped back to 10th place. Still, Jamie Coward refusing to let go of Dean Harrison. Wherever Dean Harrison goes, Jamie Coward follows. Oh, and Coward thinking about a move, but not close enough to Harrison. Harrison defending superbly. Harrison's just riding his own race, and Jamie Coward just can't find his way past. Oh, that's very fast going into Mount Side, but turns it in time. Dean Harrison into Farm Bends. Ian Locker still holding off Dominic Herbertson for 4th place. So Locker from Herbertson. Locker just a little bit wide on the exit. Jamie Coward into Memorial. Dean Harrison still holding the #1 spot. Oh my goodness! And that is Coward down. Jamie Coward is down. Oh my goodness, what happened there? Well, that elevates Jim Hind into 2nd place. With Jamie Coward out of the way, can Jim Hind do anything about Dean Harrison? So here we go again. Just hold that front wheel. .33 into mere hairpin is Gary Graves. A little bit of a wheelie, a little bit of showboating. Well, Harrison has a 2-second lead over Hind, and here's the battle for 3rd. Locker from Herbertson. Oh, Herbertson goes through, does he? Hodson just watching in 5th place, and Herbertson takes over 3rd place from Ian Locker. So Dominic Herbertson goes 3rd, Ian Locker back to 4th. Well, it looks as if Dean Harrison is on his way to yet another win at Oliver's Mount. Only Guy Martin, Ryan Farquhar and Ian Locker, the all-time wins record holder, have won more races. And there is Locker, trying desperately to add another podium to his total. But he has to do something about Dominic Herbertson first. Not far to go for Dean Harrison, just some traffic in the way. 49, Michael Rees, still ahead of Alan Brooks in the battle for 6th. So Dean Harrison Another race win at Oliver's Mount, this time on a Super Twin. Jim Hind, a superb second place for the youngster. And the battle for third goes the way of Dominic Herbertson. A quick look to make sure Ian Locker wasn't going to come past. So Michael Rees does indeed take 6th place, Rob Hodson 5th, Ian Locker 4th, Dom Herbertson 3rd, Jim Hind 2nd, and Dean Harrison a winner again.
Great win there for Dean Harrison in the Twins, pushed all the way to the end. When we come back from the break, he'll be going for glory again in the 600 Super Sports. Welcome back to Oliver's Mount. We're ready to go now with the 600 Super Sport race, a class that was dominated a month ago here by that man in the middle of the front row there, Northern Ireland's Lee Johnston.
Lee Johnston pulls the wheel in the air. It is indeed Johnston who leads. But Lee Johnston setting a cracking pace. And this is the race leader. Lee Johnston takes the checkered flag.
Lee, 4 wins here in the Barry Sheen event last month, so I guess you just have to do the same again, don't you?
Oh yeah, it sounds easy, easy when you say that, but no, it's obviously really good that Dean's here this weekend on a 600 and stuff, so yeah, things are, the pace is heated up, should we say.
And do you see it as kind of a straight fight between you and Dean, or are you looking beyond that?
No, I think there is other guys, like obviously young James Hind is come on immensely. So obviously he was on pole and qualifying and stuff, so he's clearly got the pace.
And sure to be pushing Lee all the way this weekend, his old friend, great rival and Scarborough specialist, Dean Harrison.
Lee's riding really well. I mean, he's top 3 in Super Sport every weekend, so to try and hold at the back of him, I'm doing quite well, I think.
He came here and obviously had a real good meeting last month. Does that make him that a little bit more difficult to beat, do you think, this week?
Yeah, no, I think it's just his riding in general. I think he's been riding really well all year. So no, if we can get on the back and try and nip him or try and slide up the inside somewhere, we'll try his best.
Well, this should be a great battle. Over to Dave Moore.
Oh, we're about to see another Dean Harrison, Lee Johnston shootout. Johnston starts on the front row of the grid. Into pole position goes Dean Harrison. This is how they start. Harrison, Johnston and Dom Herbertson are on row 1. The youngster Jim Hind, Mike Norbury and Joe Ackroyd on row 2. Joey Thompson, Rob Hodson, Jamie Coward on row 3. Tom Whedon, Brad Vickers and Stephen Haddow complete row 4. Look out 2 for the likes of Don Gilbert, Stephen Proctor and Aaron Sadler. They're on row 5 onwards. So check out the lights, and when they go out we are underway. And it looks like Dean Harrison might just have it. No, it's not. It's Lee Johnston who will arrive at Mere Hairpin first. And here comes from row 2, 26, Mike Norbury. We're on board with Dom Herbertson in 3rd place, just behind Harrison. A climb up the hill. And looking back from Rob Hodson, 74, of course, Joey Thompson. But it is Lee Johnston who leads on this opening lap from Dean Harrison. Johnston, you'd have to say, more of a 600 specialist than Harrison. Into Drury's, and Lee Johnston already threatening to pull away. Up in the 4th place, so it's back to 4th place, I should say, is Dominic Herbertson. Lee Johnston absolutely flying, maybe a little bit too hot, into the hairpin at Mountside. And he's away. Absolutely flying down towards Jeffrey's Jumps. He leads this one. And it is Johnston. Oh, here comes Herbertson. He won't pass into Farm Bend, surely. Maybe into Mere Hairpin. So here they come to complete lap number 1. It'll be Johnston from Harrison. Then it's Mike Norbury in third, Dominic Herbertson is fourth, then Joey Thompson in fifth. Already the front two have pulled almost 2 seconds on this battle for third. There's less than half a second at the end of lap one between Norbury and Herbertson. Almost a 5-second gap back to the battle for third place. It's Lee Johnston who continues to lead from Dean Harrison. And that lead is growing, 1.5 seconds between them at the end of the second lap. And here goes Dom Herbertson for third place. Along the back straight, goes past Mike Norbury. Johnston from Harrison. Around Drury's. Harrison just watching Johnston disappear off into the distance. Oh my goodness, Norbury is now back in 5th place. Not so hot this time as he was in the opening lap, Lee Johnston. Here is Dominic Herbertson in 3rd place. 4th place is Joey Thompson. So here they come, this 4-way fight for 3rd. Herbertson from Thompson, from Norbury, then Jim Hind in 6th place. Dean Harrison still keeping Lee Johnston in his sights, but Lee Johnston still keeping Dean Harrison at, I would say, more than arm's length. And there is nothing, it seems, that Dean Harrison can do about Lee Johnston. I think certainly we'd be surprised to see Lee Johnston do a repeat of that opening lap into Mountside. Meanwhile, Dominic Herbertson has got plenty to worry about. The men behind him. Into Farm Bends. Oh, beautiful. Lee Johnston. The road really drops away going into the bends. The camera kind of levels it out a lot more than it actually does drop away. So here they go, and Harrison is now catching up Lee Johnston. He looks to be catching him up. There was less than a second between them at the end of that lap. Here they come. Can Dean Harrison close that gap even further on Lee Johnston? Along the back straight, one of the fastest parts of the circuit. Dominic Herbertson still in 3rd place. So we're riding with the race leader, Lee Johnston. Gold Cup winner, of course, last year on a 600. He's been the man to beat on a 600 at Scarborough the last couple of years. But Dean Harrison is certainly making him work hard for this one. Johnston absolutely flies in, turns it around, keeps the speed up. Now then, Dominic Herbertson into Mountside. Will we see? Oh, we will see someone go up the inside. Oh my goodness! Oh, he's overcooked it, Joey Thompson, sorry. Joey Thompson, too hot. So Lee Johnston still leads. Dean Harrison, really close. Oh, that's a rider down, and that is Herbertson, I think. It is Herbertson. Herbertson has gone off at Farm Bends. He's slid off. Hopefully he's fine. Oh, and that's a red flag as well. No surprise there. So it will be Lee Johnston's victory. So here we go again, on board with Dominic Herbertson. Is it the front just tucks? As Dominic Herbertson calls the red flag, he's omitted from the results. Therefore, Joey Thompson takes 3rd place, Dean Harrison in 2nd, and Lee Johnston, a race winner at Scarborough again.
Real frustration there for Dean Harrison in the end, but another 600 Supersport win here at Scarborough for Lee Johnston. After the break, 3-wheeled action with the sidecars. Welcome back to Gold Cup action here at Oliver's Mount. Sidecar's next, and it's a familiar name that rolls up onto the front row of the grid. It's Harrison again, but this time it's Conrad, Dean's dad. Dean and family watching from the sidelines there as Grandad takes off. Now, if you thought this circuit was tight and twisty for the 600s, for the three-wheelers, it's an even bigger challenge.
Birchall brothers are hoping to do well.
Tom, Ben, after all the disruption and the delays over the last few months, how nice is it to go racing again? How's it feel?
Well, it's just great, isn't it? It's great that we can be here, and it's the first time here, and it's the nearest thing we're going to get to a road race this year, so we thought we'd better come and have a go, and it's just a real friendly place and good fun, so yeah, great.
What are you actually making of it then so far, Tom?
Really enjoying it, you know, it's been a fair eye-opener, but we've had a bit of a uneasy practice. We had one full session and then a few problems, but we managed to get out in that first race and had a good run. We were dicing with Conrad there, so we had a good race. So I think that's what you've got to do here. You've got to, have a race with Conrad, and then you've been to Scarborough. But enjoyed it, and looking forward to the second one.
And you guys are naturally very competitive, so how much of this, and you don't argue back either, how much of this are you able to enjoy, and how much of it is kind of serious for you guys? You want to get out there and win? Well,
there's a bit of both, isn't there? We've come to enjoy it weekend and put us toe in water, but at the end of the day, you want to go racing, you want to do the best that you can. So Lee Crawford is the man to beat, and Conrad as well. But we'll just see, take it as it comes and enjoy the riding, and if some pace comes, then it comes.
Well, sadly, after an engine issue on Saturday, the Birchalls didn't make it to the grid on Sunday. Let's join the race action now with Dave Moore.
Well, the sidecars may have been delayed due to the high winds, but certainly conditions much better now. We've had some great sidecar encounters in the past at Oliver's Mount. Are we going to add another one today? Certainly the men to beat are Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy. They're in pole position. Conrad Harrison and Andy Winkle alongside them. Row 2, Steve Ramsden and Matty Ramsden. Michael Russell, Carl Schofield on row 2. Bruce Moore, Richard Hackney. And then Sean Chandler, Chris Schofield and Paul Riley bringing up the rear. It's crucial to, could have been a jump start perhaps for Bruce Moore. That may be under investigation. That's who we're riding with. I was going to say it's vital to get into the whole shot for the Mere hairpin for the sidecars, and Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy have done that yet again on their LCR Suzuki. Harrison and Winkle into second place. And already Crawford and Hardy, they've been the outfit to beat this weekend at Scarborough, sliding around on the exit to go onto the back straight. Now this is a replay, but seen from Conrad Harrison and Andy Winkle. And how close do you want your sidecar racing? It just don't have the power off the line. What can Conrad Harrison and Andy Winkle and Steve and Matty Ramsden do about this outfit? Not a lot, it would seem. Oh my goodness, a little bit of blue smoke. A little bit of smoke. That will be encouraging perhaps for Harrison and Ramsden. Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy around Drury's. So the drop down to Mount Side, and there it is again. Is it something rubbing? And here's the outfit in 5th place, 39. That's Bruce and Ashley Moore. And they're trying to chase down 55, Michael Russell and Carl Schofield. And a little bit of daylight now between Conrad Harrison and the Ramsden boys. So across the line again in first place for Crawford and Hardy. And that gap, they're lapping around 3 seconds faster than Conrad Harrison. That gap just keeps growing lap by lap. So Harrison and Winkle still defending second place. So onto the back straight. Conrad Harrison and Andy Winkle on the Bellis Honda. So no more blue smoke for a while from these two. And certainly they can afford to ease off, because this man, Conrad Harrison, cannot close the gap down between himself. In fact, he's got more to think about with the pair behind him still, the Ramsdens. Yeah, no blue smoke this time. Harrison and Winkle, will we see the Ramsdens appear at the inside? No. Conrad Harrison, oh, just clips the curb. Still fourth place. Michael Russell and Carl Schofield. The last lap flag goes out. Over 2 miles to go for Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy to rack up another victory at Oliver's Mount. The gap has come down, and I would suggest, in fact, the lap time does suggest that, in fact, they have eased off the race leaders, Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy. The gap was around 10 seconds. It's now down to just over 9. The Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy, with plenty in hand, they're going to take another victory. But still, Conrad Harrison and Andy Winkle, with enough of a gap, a comfortable one at this stage of the race. Harrison and Winkle should take second. Steve and Matthew Ramsden will be third. But here are the race winners. Yet again at Oliver's Mount, it's victory for Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy. Well, Bruce and Ashley Moore snatched fourth place away from Michael Russell and Carl Schofield. The Ramsdens in third, Harrison and Winkle second, Crawford and Hardy win again.
After the break, it's the big one, the Steve Henshaw Gold Cup. Welcome back to sunny Scarborough. It's time for the big one, the Gold Cup. This event has been running since 1946 and the winners list reads like a roll call of the great and the good of motorcycle road racing, from Giacomo Agostini right through to John McGuinness. And that's why the Gold Cup retains the prestige that really keeps these modern day road racers coming back. There's such history about the Gold Cup. How important is it as an event to you?
To me, I love it. I've been here, my first ever road race from Scarborough, so for me to come here, it's a big thing really. It's nice, it's a bit of normality, like you said, seeing the crowds on the bank and people watching and spectators waving you on, it's great to see.
I've got a plan. I'm just going to pretty much let the brakes off in the first corner, skittle them all out the way, and then come down and just get the trophy engraved from there. But no, obviously, the Gold Cup, it's a huge meeting. It's the end of the year. It's the second road race off, well, the lockdown year, shall we say, and it'll be a great big thing to get your name on there, but like you said before, the competition's hellish.
Obviously winning it last year was a massive thing, and I've lived in England quite a long time now, and before being in Huddersfield I lived over here, do you know what I mean? So I used to come and watch and seeing quite a few people win it, obviously like Guy and stuff, and Dean as well, so yeah, it's always nice to win something like that is obviously classed as a prestigious name. When you say the name, everybody knows what it is and stuff, so yeah.
So here we go then, once again, it's over to Dave Moore for the Steve Henshaw Gold Cup.
It's the big one. The list of past winners reads like a who's who of motorcycle racing. Dean Harrison and Lee Johnson have to start as favourites. Dominic Herberson is on row 1. Alongside them, Jim Hind, Mike Norbury and Joey Thompson on row 2. Rob Hodson, Jamie Cowd and Tom Whedon on row 3. Brad Vickers, Stephen Proctor and Don Gilbert on row 4. In fact, we can actually go back 8 rows, such as the entry list for this event. It could be the Johnson-Harrison show. Lee Johnson won the Gold Cup last year on a 600. Dean Harrison, last time he won the Gold Cup was on a big superbike. No more superbikes allowed, of course. Jamie Coward on the Super Twin. It was Dean Harrison who got the whole shot from Lee Johnston. It should be all about these two. Not doing disservice for the rest of the guys. Dominic Herbertson right in there as well in third place. Good start from him. That's who we ride with along the back straight. Lee Johnson threatening to find a move on Dean Harrison. He'd do very well. He might do one on the brakes, he's not close enough. We're looking back from Lee Johnston as they go into Memorial. They come out onto Lockers. And then the little sprint down to Drury's hairpin. Always. Oh, my goodness. I thought Lee Johnson was going to have a go at Dean Harrison then. Oh, he is! He is! Oh, it makes Harrison sit up. What a move from Lee Johnston. Good job, they're the best of pals. Lee Johnson with a committed move into Drury's to take the lead on the opening lap of the Gold Cup race. Dean Harrison in second. Dominic Herbertson in third will be thinking, wow, what have I just witnessed? Oh. And again, they're sitting up. The Lee Johnston. This is the moment he goes past Dean Harrison. Dean Harrison thinks he's got it covered. And Lee Johnston just pushes through. Great move. So Lee Johnston continues to lead from Dean Harrison. Johnson just squirming into Mere. Back wheel sliding. Riding with Jim Hind in fifth place. Oh, he's gone up because Dominic Herbertson is touring. He's gone out from third place as Mike Norbury fills the screen. So Joey Thompson is now third, Jim Hind fourth, and Mike Norbury fifth. Well, Dean Harrison had a plan, and that was to lead and stay in the lead. However, Lee Johnston had other ideas, made his way through into first place, and it's going to be a big ask from Dean Harrison. And in fact, Lee Johnston has just set a new Supersport lap record, 1 minute 45.5. So Dean Harrison really will have his work cut out to do something about the race leader. Dean Harrison still keeping Lee Johnston in his sights. It's all about mistakes, really, I think. If someone makes a mistake, it will give the advantage to the rider, of course, but they have to be inch perfect all the way to the checkered flag. Lots of battles further down the order. Callum Ward, 136. Dean Harrison. Over the line he goes. There's still a second between these two. No new lap records this time. Well, there's around 10-11 seconds back to this battle for third. It's still with Thompson. Hind is certainly very close in fourth place. Mike Norbury just losing touch in fifth, trying to gain up some ground as they go into Mere, and he gains up, certainly seemed to anyway, but he needs that good exit speed. Oh, another retirement, and it's Rob Hodson. He was in 8th place. Still nothing between these two, Lee Johnston and Dean Harrison. All Dean Harrison can do is just push on as fast as he can and hope that Lee Johnston can come towards him. Both inch perfect around Mount Side. Now we're waiting for all the battle for third place. Here they come. Bill Thompson from Hind. Norbury doing his utmost to close that gap to the two riders in front of him. Over the line they go. Still Lee Johnston, and there's still nothing between them. The gaps each lap, 8 tenths, 9 tenths, 8 tenths. Inch perfect. Jamie Coward still battling away on that 650. It's incredible, these two. It's almost as if they're on rail tracks. Coward still still holding on to Tom Whedon. Here's that battle for third. Jim Hind still in pursuit of Joey Thompson, two of the younger riders today. Dean Harrison would love to be close enough to push himself up the inside, but he just can't close that gap. Still less than a second between them. Thompson from Hind with Norbury still in fifth. Oh, I think that Norbury gone? It is! Norbury just slid away. Oh, goodness. Well, he's up. And that will be the end of his race. Mike Norbury was in fifth place, doing all he could. Just couldn't close that gap. This is looking back from Jim Hind. Down he goes, it just goes from him, slides away. A shame for Mike Norbury. The last lap then, Lee Johnston from Dean Harrison. The gap, 0.6 of a second. Harrison has not been as close to this, to Lee Johnston, in this race since the opening lap. Can he find that little bit that he needs to take the race win? Certainly Jim Hind is losing touch with Joey Thompson. It's all eyes on Harrison and Johnston. Dean Harrison really giving it everything he can. Here he comes down into Palmer's. 145 was Dan Forbes. Harrison gaining on Johnston. It's going to be a close call, this. It has to be inch perfect. Good exit speed from Lee Johnston. Harrison maybe just carried a bit too much into that turn and lost the exit, but he's still very much in pursuit of Lee Johnston. Here we go, folks. It is going to be a grandstand finish. It's going to be another thriller at the Scarborough Gold Cup. Lee Johnston should have it, though. I don't see where Dean Harrison could make a move now. Mountside was his last chance, really. That doesn't mean he won't give up. Here he comes into Farm Bends. Oh, he's trying, but he knows the game is up. Unless Lee Johnston makes a terrible mistake on the exit. Here they come. It's Lee Johnston who wins a thrilling Steve Henshaw Gold Cup. Dean Harrison in second, and a new lap record for Dean Harrison. 1:44.842. The 600 lap record smashed by Dean Harrison. Yeah, go and have a lap of honour. You deserve it. Joey Thompson in third place ahead of Jim Hind. Jamie Coward a good fifth place ahead of Tom Whedon. Dean Harrison just missing out by 0.2 on to Lee Johnston.
Lee, congrats, fantastic race. Dean kept you honest right to the end there.
Credit to Dean, he's riding well for not doing a lot of riding and jumping on a bike, and it shows you how good he is here. Do you know what I mean? This is his home track sort of thing. So to get a win in front of him always tastes good. When we're such good friends, it's good to get one over on him for a change.
So there you go, a great battle between two great friends and great rivals, and the Steve Henshaw Gold Cup in great hands for another year as Lee Johnston takes the spoils for the second season in succession. Loads more racing still to come in the second hour of our shows. Make sure you catch that one as well. But from all of us here, it's bye for now.